Hello and welcome back to the channel. Stupid here, and today we're going to look at some games that I recorded from my local Pokemon League that I run, and we are going to have Chuck on the left playing a Gyarados Mill deck. There's also some Wug Trio in there, and on the right we have Alex with the Charizard deck. They are getting some practice in for the upcoming Louisville Regional, so by the time this video goes live, who knows when it may or may not have already happened, but we see Chuck start off with a Buddy Poffin, grabbing the Comfey and a second Magikarp. They start with a Magikarp and a Wiglet. The whole point of this deck is to get into the Gyarados and then just start flipping coins to mill cards. So let's just see how this plays out here. They're going to go ahead and shuffle up. I'm playing these back at 2 times speed, so there might be some moments where I fall behind, but we see energy attachment, and it looks like I pass over to Alex. Alex has a Pheasantipity and Arven in hand. Looks like a counter catcher as well. Kind of a dead card in this matchup, but going to start off with Arven. Most likely we're going to see a Buddy Poffin, maybe a Forest Seal Stone, or a Vitality Band, or Defiance Band, or Maximum Belt. I mean, most of those aren't going to do too much in this specific matchup, but they are going to go ahead and play them in this deck. Deck thinning is deck winning, as they say. We do see the Forest Seal Stone as the selected card here. The Poffin going to go right back in, most likely going to establish either more Charmanders, Pidgeys, or potentially Duskull to evolve into Clops and Noir to take extra prize cards. We do see the 50 HP Call for Family Pidgey, which is definitely not super optimal. That can now be knocked out by so many things in the meta, like Dragapult's attack, and also Dusclops can put the 5 damage counters on there and give up a free prize card. But it looks like just a pass back over to Chuck. See a couple energy cards in hand. We've seen an attachment for turn on to the Magikarp. There's the Gyarados coming down with that Wreak Havoc. And then, of course, the Irida being played here. This is going to get another water Pokemon and an item card. And it looks like they're eyeing up some different stuff. We see a Capturing Aroma, which can get another basic Pokemon or an evolution, depending on the coin flip, and a second Gyarados. Now, Gyarados, doesn't guarantee any mills, but there's a world where Chuck could flip a bunch of coins and hit, heads so many times in a row. There's the first heads of the game on the Capturing Aroma. Probably going to see the Wug Trio in this scenario here hit the bench, or if they're just trying to grab another Gyarados for another Magikarp in the future. But yeah, there is the Wug Trio. It has a much steeper cost to attack, but you're going to fall behind in prizes with a deck like this, and things like Reversal Energy will just meet that condition super fast. There's the cut, and it looks like the first Gyarados attack is going off. Here we go. Heads. And then tails. Okay, so, ooh, and there goes a Duskull, or I'm sorry, a Dusclops and a Dust Noir into the discard pile. There's a little bit of a glare on the right side in the discard pile, but as long as we can see the cards come into play in some shape or form, we'll be able to keep track of what's in that discard pile in these games. Looked like Alex just passed it back over to Chuck. Nothing happened here. Kind of a dead hand. And we see another single flip from the Gyarados. Energy coming down on to the Charmander for turn. And there's no stadium in play, so, nothing really going to happen here. See the reversal and an EXP share onto the Wug Trio. I would have liked to see that reversal be held, just because the experience share is there. You've got 2 Gyarados that both have energy that would have got energy on the board that way in one way or another. They would have got knocked out by Charizard. It would have moved it over. And then that way you could have the reversal energy for later on in the game. We see Alex retreat into the Pidgey, and it looks like a Call for a Family is happening here. Eyeballing the Cleffa, and I think just a shuffle. No Skulls, no Charmanders. Trying to keep cards in the deck in this sort of matchup is good, but again, the coin flips really dictate the pace of the mill. All right, and then a pass back over after that Call for Family. And Chuck doesn't have a lot going on in their hand right now. So I think we're just going to see more wreaking havoc from the Gyarados. That's heads. And just a tails again. And there goes a rare candy and a Charizard. Now, Alex does have a Super Rod in hand. I see the Forest Seal Stone, another Charizard. There's a Pidgeot, but no rare candies. And using that Super Rod really early, putting back the Clops, the Skull, or I'm sorry, the Clops and the Noir and the Fire Energy. Another Pidgey hitting the bench. There is the Pheasantipity, which is just kind of a dead card. I wouldn't have considered putting that down. That can get trapped in the active now. And then a retreat into the Cleffa. And then he did not shuffle. There we go. I'm glad they caught on to this. And that way this video was not scuffed. I didn't get to watch this game at League, so I did watch a lot of the other games in question at League tonight. We had a whopping 10 players, a little bit quiet of a League night. But there is the Grasping Draw from the Cleffa. We see the Gravity Gemstone onto the Gyarados. Now Cleffa has a retreat cost of 1. We see heads. It looked like a heads off screen. That's 3. He's got his fingers up. That's 4. That's 5. Oh, 5 heads. That's 10 cards off the top. Rare Candy, Fire Energy, Temple of Sinnoh would have been great here. Another rare candy. Oh, the Nest Ball, the second Super Rod. Oh, it's not looking good here for Alex. Alex does find an Arven, which is going to get him maybe a rare candy if there's one left. There's a world where Alex can go ahead and just evolve into Charmeleon and then evolve into Charizard to get an attacker, but there is a Night Stretcher being found from the Arven, nothing else. Has a Charizard in hand already. I think Night Stretcher for Charmeleon is probably the call, and I think we're just going to see that evolve right into it, and then a pass back over. No Grasping Draw. His hand is too big. We see a Crushing Hammer. No energies in play right now. Looks like Chuck is just going to go for the dice. And here we go. Oh, and a Tails. No cards milled. Then there is the Charizard. Infernal Rain is going to go ahead and attach energy cards to the board in any way they want to. 3 energy total. But it looks like he's just going to go ahead and place 2 on to the Charizard. I hope he realizes that Gravity Gemstone increases the retreat cost of the Cleffa. Has the Prime Catcher in hand, so they're going to be able to get around it. And they're going to go ahead and gust up the Wug Trio, I assume. Yep, here is the Wug, which definitely a little bit more scarier than Gyarados. And Burning Darkness is going to go ahead and knock that out for 180 damage. Chuck isn't taking prize cards, so the damage output here is not being increased. We see a Mimikyu hit the bench with an Experience Share. And it looks like a Crushing Hammer now. And if Chuck can get a heads here, that would have been pretty big. But we see a Tails, unfortunately, for Chuck. So he's just going to have to go in with the Gyarados here. We see heads and a Tails. Just 2 cards at the top. Iono and Boss. Iono would have been really good to be able to, like, kind of put a large hand on the bottom of the deck to prevent you from being milled out. And we just see a Burning Darkness for another prize card from Alex. Nothing too crazy so far. And Chuck is going to go ahead and use the Experience Share to put a Psychic Energy onto the Mimikyu and just promote the Mimikyu. And we see an Eerie and a Water Energy in the hand. Eerie is going to go ahead and rip away. It looks like 2 Counter Catchers. There's a Buddy Poffin, but Counter Catcher's not really going to do much. It's just less cards for Alex to potentially put back onto the bottom of the deck with an Iono if there is one. And just a pass over. 4 prize cards left for Alex to get the dub. I don't know how many cards are left in the deck. We just see a pass. The Mimikyu is kind of just going to wall him out of the turn. And it looks like Chuck is just going to start with the Nest Ball and slap down a second Mimikyu. Two Mimikyus in play. Some Charizard decks were playing Canceling Cologne when the Iron Thorns deck was a little bit more popular, but just an attachment from Chuck and then a pass over to Alex. And Alex doesn't really have much going on. They're checking the discard pile, trying to see what's going on here. Looking through a lot of resources. Gone. I think I see 3 rare candy in there. No way to get that Pidgeot into play or anything. No way to bench for Skulls. Benching the Fez is a problem. I think we just saw a pass and a pass. Alex has a Boss. Gonna go ahead and grab up the Gyarados, hit it with the Burning Darkness, and then the Experience Share potentially. Nope, he's just gonna let that one roll. Promotes the Comfey, which makes both players draw cards. Another cheeky way here of getting around things. I see Chuck has an energy search in his hand, so he could get an energy next turn if he doesn't draw one off the Comfey to guarantee the Mimikyu's attack. Buddy Poffin got to go through the deck and see what else they can put down into play. I think putting down another Pokemon is potentially problematic here, unless they can go for the mill, and it is another Wiglet to potentially evolve into another Wug Trio later in this game. Plays the energy search, grabs the energy from the discard pile. I think I heard them realize that they goofed that up real quick here momentarily. And then, yep, he realized what he did. So in this situation, he should have energy searched before he drew. But these are casual games at Pokemon League that we run our tournaments for. So if I would have been involved, there may or may not have been a penalty involved, which really wouldn't have done anything other than just actually, you know, cause the game loss at that point for Chuck. But easy fix, good sportsmanship from both players. We see the Turo picking up the Pheasantipity, and it looks like a Buddy Poffin going to be played, or just go ahead and bench the Duskull. And then now there's a line where they're able to potentially play it out here and maybe evolve it into the Dusknoir to take a knockout. Chuck's mulling over his decisions. There is a Misfortune Sisters gets to look at the top 5 cards of the deck here and find any items and discard them. And it looks like a Buddy Poffin and the last rare candy just went to the discard pile. And Wiglet going in with a single discard. It's a heads. So Alex loses another card off the top of the deck. Now if... Oh, there is the 4th rare candy in hand. So Alex can actually just evolve into a Dusknoir if he had a stretcher. It doesn't look like it. Just evolving to the Dusclops. And then we see the Burning Darkness taking him down to the last prize. And then now Mimikyu is the final hurdle for Alex to potentially get out of this. It looks like just 3 cards left in deck. I can't quite tell. 3 or 4 cards left. So if there was a world where like Chuck had Thornton and then evolved and then flipped a couple heads, that would have been absolutely crazy. And maybe that's a possibility, but I don't think so. We see another Irida, which is going to get another water Pokemon if there's any left in the deck. I don't think so. We've seen the Wug Trios. We've seen the Gyaradoses. I'm sure the rest of them are prized. I see a neutralization zone in the deck, another gravity gemstone. So this has some cool tools to be able to slow down the game state, to be able to mill away. But we just see an energy retrieval. This could get the psychic energy off of the Comfey that was in there into the discard onto the Mimikyu, and then we can see Ghost Eye do 7 damage by placing counters. And yet energy retrieval grabs a water and a psychic back, and there is the attachment. And I guess Chuck could have also just used the experience share and moved the energy off the Comfey when it got knocked out. And then, yep, 7 damage counters. We're going to see the Clops give Chuck a prize, put 5 damage counters. And, oh, the Charmander with Heat Tackle coming in for the last prize card. Charmander taking the game, and Alex gets the dub in this match. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comments. Please take a moment to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't done so. There are a few more of these videos, and I'm going to try and record Pokemon League every week so we can get some more fun games like this on the channel. Much love, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.